legalize, like you said, to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign. Good evening. Welcome to Small Town Underground on this Saturday evening. It looks like I'm getting a text in here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to. Yes, okay. Let me finish this. Already planning it. I hope everybody's doing good this evening out here. This is pretty much sort of an unplanned live stream. Because boy, where do we start? I felt like I couldn't do myself justice if I didn't come on and kind of talk a little bit about the election and kind of do a recap of just this last year alone. Has been crazy, to say the least. So welcome in. I've got to do one more thing. I'm flying solo this evening, so try not to waste our time here. Hang on one second. I had to set everything back up this evening because I was wore out the other evening. We stayed up till 3 o'clock at the election watch party. And it was wild. We had I'll just wait on that. We had a awesome time there. We set up, let me get that off of there. Last Tuesday at the election, we did an election watch party. There was a lot more people that showed up than I guess maybe I was prepared for. I kind of got strong-armed into doing it, which it wasn't a big deal at first. We were just going to get Derek Grayson and get him in on like a live stream panel for Cliff's Edge. And it ended up being, got a phone call, hey, I've got 10 people that want to come. And I'm like, what? You know, wasn't ready for this at all. And so I kind of started freaking out. At 10, 15, turned into 15, and then so I kind of talked to my wife, and I was like, what do you think I should do? You know, and she's like, well, just rent out a space. And so that's what we did, and they were awesome. It was an awesome place. We got a discount for it. And we decided to combine forces with the GOP in Walker, and it's a great time. We had like, I think 6 or 7 counties in Georgia that were represented at our watch party. That was huge, just to have everybody in the room just sharing the evening. And I'm sure some of you guys watched the live stream. We set up a multi-person panel. I thought that was great. We just had people just get on there, and as we're talking about the election in real time in the room, and we had a blast. Had a lot of food, a lot of fun. Jerry Paris and his wife, they played some music for us. Jackie Harlan sung the national anthem. She was, as always, great. And we just kind of railed on through the night, just watching. I mean, before our eyes, the enormous victory of the red wave that we had. Donald Trump he was elected president. I got a few things to say about that, because that was monumental. I mean, we won pretty much every facet of the government. And we're going to talk a little bit about the fallout, about this crazy sort of deranged fallout that we're going through. So I'm trying to stay, I'm definitely going to keep this under an hour tonight. But just a lot on my mind. So I'm trying to get sidetracked. I wrote myself some notes, but it was a phenomenal night. We actually had a person reach out to us who was a French reporter. He flew into the U.S., was looking for these watch party, and somehow somebody gave him the information from Floyd County, and he contacted me. And I'll have to be honest. At first, I thought I'm gonna have to bring extra security. We already had a little security team, but I was like, "Are you kidding me? We got a French reporter that's interested in coming to this watch party." Like, I wasn't buying it, and so we reached out to each other after he sent me a message, and he was legit. So we invited him, and he stayed with us. He was the last person there. I did release the interview out on the page and to other people. But very nice guy. Worked for, I believe, a morning show, and he told me that he was interested, that he was supposed to be around the Atlanta area, and he really didn't want to go and to be in Atlanta. He wanted to kind of be in the heart of small towns. And I thought, well, you're barking up my tree. So it was pretty cool. I watched a little interview. It was almost like out of this world, just crazy, just how things went. But real proud of how we handled everything. We had a great night. And like I said, we were there till about 3 o'clock. There was a couple of people that hung out, Gary Ramey and Lisa Adams there. And Perry Byers stayed for a long time, and we all cleaned up. But it was victorious. I stayed until Trump finally got on stage, and once he started his speech, and that's when we started to pack up. And crazily enough, I felt sorry for the Democrats in the aspect of that Kamala Harris, such a weak, pathetic candidate, she did not even come out to her people at her own party. She pulled a Clinton and just snubbed him. And the news is just watching all these people walk off in sadness and agony and whatever you want to call it. But it was just like, if I was out in that crowd and they didn't even have the respect to come out that night and at least engage with me, I mean, that would have turned me, against them in the first place. But it just kind of goes to show you that these people don't give two craps about the people. They don't care about, it's clown world. It's a clown show is all it is. And that's what we just went through, was yet another act in the clown show. But one thing is for sure is that we were victorious. We got Donald Trump elected president yet again. Some say his second term. Some people say his third. That's a side joke. I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, and so I spent the rest of the week working and cleaning up and just kind of basking a little bit. I actually took the whole day of Wednesday off. I did not answer any text messages, get on any social media. I thought I'm going to give it a day of rest, and then of course we jump back in. And I'm kind of keeping track of my phone tonight. So if there's anybody that wants to call in, that's what we're doing. We're doing a little bit of call-in tonight. But my, oh my, where do we start? So the first thing I want to do is I will admit publicly that I was completely wrong, because for most of this last several months, my whole stance on this was that I didn't think we were going to have an election. There were so many things going on, so much geopolitical wise. The war is ramping up. The Democrats with the control of the media and the narrative, and God, it was total doom and gloom for me. I couldn't get over the fact that something huge was going to happen between now and the election that would have just completely shut us down into martial law. And geopolitically, I mean, nothing would have surprised me. It's almost more surprising to me that we haven't already been in some nuclear war with just the escalations that continue to rise up. But I told you guys that I would be the first one to admit when I was wrong, and I certainly was, because very much like closer and closer we got to the election, the more confident I became that not only were we going to have an election, but that I pretty much would believe that Donald Trump was going to pull this off. And but hey, like I said, I'd be the first one to admit I was wrong, and I always hoped I was wrong. It went a lot better than I expected, and so my perspective has been able to kind of change just a little bit, which we'll go into. But like I said, the media, so much information coming at us, and we're also in this sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but with X being such a free and open platform now that information comes at us at the speed of light, you're getting you're looking at your main news aggregates, and it's just nothing but lies and misinformation and just total garbage. But it enters in your mind, the garbage enters into your mind, and then you get on X and you're getting completely different information. And so it's information warfare all the way around. And like I said, none of us are immune to the gaslighting, and our minds tend to always go into the very negative aspect of life. But we pulled it off, man. I mean, it was huge that we pulled this off. This was the election probably of our lifetime, so we're not going to see another one quite like this. And the victory that we had across the board, with the Senate keeping the Supreme Court, Congress, it's unquestionable how big this was, and how this is going to shape the future in the next few years. But I seriously thought we were not going to have an election. So, but we got a lot more good things going on, and I do understand how crazy that we can get, the media can get, what much of a stranglehold it gets. And I always try to keep in the context that we think we know what's going on. We really don't. We really don't know what's going on. And that's why I say it's God's plan. We trust in God's plan no matter what. No matter what, even if God forbid Kamala Harris would have won, it's part of the plan. But I've since realized that the psychological warfare is real. It can get me. And gaslighting, it's so easy to get gaslit over things. So, I'm looking into, I'm kind of self-reflecting here about kind of calming myself down a little bit and more focused on like the reality, which a lot of us, who knows? I don't know that even any of us expected that landslide. We were all hoping, we were all praying, but it's just, things are sometimes not as bad as they appear to be, or they're manufactured to be bad. They're manufactured to grab a hold of your psyche, right? Because the fear is one of the biggest controllers anyway. And so it's just something I'm going to look at in the future going forward, because I always try to focus on truth, integrity, honesty, transparency. And that's no different whether you're right or wrong or what. But, hey, we thank the Lord that we did have the election and that it went as well as it did. So, I also wanted to kind of reflect a little bit on the past of all this, because you have to never ever forget that Donald Trump was not supposed to make it this far, right? 2 assassination attempts, 1 assassination attempt, he was shot. And I'm talking about just any different movement other than that split second could have ended really, really badly. And so, when you think about that, when you put that into context, and you got to understand that November the 5th, Trump was not supposed to be there. All right. They were trying to take him out of this equation. They were trying to write him off out of the story. And that's huge to remember, that he wasn't supposed to be there. That everything up to that moment after that moment changed. And that these things are supposed to happen. Like the things, and I've said it before, but it's really, really like sinking in, that we have to go through this sort of idiocracy. We have to go through this current state of affairs in order for more people to understand the severity of the situations that we face, the severity of our culture crisis, all of these things. And it's painful, it sucks, but it's necessary, right? Because we want things when we want them. We want things to make sense. We try to live our lives making sense, right? I know some people love drama, but I absolutely cannot stand like drama. It is what it is. We do it. We don't, and I'm always looking for a solution. And sometimes it just doesn't make sense why we have to go through and watch these things and go through this gaslighting, and it's just. But that's not meant for us. It's meant for other people to realize, to come to their moment, their light bulb moment, to where they understand. Oh, I get it now. And we still have so many people who don't. And now we have half of a culture of people that have been brainwashed to think a certain way, and the ideology is almost impenetrable. And we're seeing a lot of that now. And I'll be honest, I don't know how to feel about that, because I watch these videos of these people, freaking out, and knowing that for the most part, in their heart of hearts, that's how they feel, that's their reaction, their emotional response, but that's probably genuine to a certain degree, and that bothers me, because when I see these people talking about tomorrow I'm going to be a slave, and the craziest stuff that you've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth, it's scary. It's frightening that people can think like that, that can't even fathom or understand what's really going on. But that's the world we're living in. That's the clown world, and we have to continue to go through clown world in order to hopefully wake more of these people up to realize that their whole life is just a lie. I mean, when you're kind of a conservative person, if you focus on the truth, right? If you just want the truth like we do, you're automatically put in this category of right-wing extremist. I mean, it's almost like the line in the sand is, well, either you live in La La Land, you're living in total fantasy world where you can just do anything you want, be anything you want, say anything you want, or else anything past that line, you're an extremist. And that's pretty much the like this line that keeps moving further and further away from reality. And it's disturbing to watch. It's disturbing too. And those people are probably no different than myself, right? How can I get up here on a Saturday night and not expect anybody to listen to me, or expect anybody to care what I have to say, right? I'm no different than these actors that come out and these performers, and we're all doing the same thing, but there's a difference in what we're trying to accomplish, and there's a difference in the things we want. Like, I want to be left alone. I want to go back to barbecues in the backyard. And the first thing I thought of when Trump won was like, wow, I can finally go out and clean the garage back out. Like, it's been so long I've neglected things in my life because we've been very, very busy trying to secure a Donald Trump presidency and secure all of these things in our communities, And that's, I don't need pity or anything. I do this on my own. But I think what the outcomes of what people like you and me that are listening to this want are vastly, vastly different from these people that live outside of reality and can't handle things like truth, right? But keep in mind that he was not ever supposed to make it this far. So yes, you can say that things have been uncertain for a while, that the knee-jerk reaction from the deep state, right? I mean, we've got them on the run to a very big degree. But I will tell you one thing. I think part of this is that we give these people, we give this deranged culture and the deep state, we give them far more credit than they deserve. I think sometimes we paint them up to be this huge boogeyman that has all the power, and it's just simply not so. It's not so, and I think we proved it in 2024. We proved that we, the people, can make a difference. I know this in several ways that I hope to come back to, but I don't think that they have some solid plan. I think it's more like Austin Powers, They're just bumbling people trying to accomplish a goal that nobody is really on the same page, and I think we've stoked a little fear into them. Never mind the mainstream media, right? I mean, we know it's absolute garbage, and they continue to be garbage. But let me stay on track here. Like I said, I think we've blown these people up to be boogeymen and to sort of rein us in with fear. And I feel like this sort of fear has been lifted off of me. Not completely, right? We still got a long way to go. But I'm not going to give the deep state as much credit as I've been giving them, because the actions that grassroots, the actions that patriots and conservatives have done all over the country in this last year to have this victory of a red wave is proof that they don't have near the power over us that we kind of think that they do. So they're scrambling. Donald Trump is not supposed to be here. None of this was supposed to happen. Their plan was completely foiled, and we've got to maintain that foliage. We've got to keep that maintained. We've got to make sure that we do not sit on our hands and we continue the great work that we're doing. So I also want to take this moment to say the real heroes to me this year are the ones that stood up and they challenged the system, all right? Whether that be election integrity or standing up trying to run for office, creating their live streams, their podcasts, joining groups, banding together, going to their community meetings. Those are the real heroes. Those are the people that stood up and said that their time was worth what we've done, okay? And we've had a lot of naysayers throughout the years. We've had a lot of people try to shut us down, try to make believe that we're just a bunch of crazy kooks. And it's proven to be completely false. There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm not going to pull up the graphs this evening because I didn't have time to load them in, but if you're paying attention at all and you're looking at the numbers from 2024 and comparing them to 2020, and I'm sure you've all heard the numbers, 10 million to 15 million to 20 million votes, we're talking about millions of differences in votes. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can deny whatever you want. You can placate all you want. But if you don't understand the severity of 2020, why 2020 mattered so much election wise. And now looking back, the smoking gun is there. That look at the numbers themselves, okay? There is no question. There hasn't been a question for a long time, but to all of you naysayers out there, the people that constantly tried to placate people who were fighting against this system, all right? The numbers don't lie, man. The numbers are clear. The vast differences we had between 2020 and 2024. And, I want to just send out a personal thank you to everybody who got involved with election integrity and who are still involved and still moving forward, still analyzing numbers, still going to hold people accountable. But, man, if we had not had such a huge support system from the grassroots, people that got involved in poll watching, poll working, whether it was a Trump Force 47, whether it was just running their mouth, supporting candidates, getting out there, people that were ready to get up at the drop of a hat and work with this. Awesome. We got a call. Hang on just a second, okay?
All right.
If we had not had that kind of support, I don't think we would have had as a secure of election as we had. So I send a big thank you out to all those people, because those are some of the real heroes in this world. So we're going to take our first call. It is Andy. Andy Soha. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Roy, can you hear me good?
Yes, sir. I can hear you just fine. Thank you for calling in tonight. What's going on?
Oh, no problem. Well, it's been a heck of a week.
Has it not?
Yeah, my demeanor has changed. I'm really excited about what's going on. I can see ahead. I see a lot of things materializing already. I can't predict what the Trump administration is going to do, but I think we're in for one heck of a ride.
You ain't kidding, man.
And I think we are fixing to see major changes. I hope we are.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start off and just say, I was on your show, and I just want to say a big congratulations to you, and hats off for your job that you've done there, building your show, bringing on some really super people. And I think everybody's glad that they can relax sometimes and just kick in and watch your show and enjoy seeing other people and what you're doing to, stoke the political fires of Georgia.
Well, thank you.
I congratulate you for that.
I appreciate it. I don't know
Go
where
ahead.
we're going with this, but we're going to continue into 2025 and just keep rolling this ball down the hill. So,
yeah, that's good. Well, we need a way to express ourselves, and we need a way to reflect, and it'll get better as we go along, I'm sure. But I want to just encourage whoever's listening and whatever. I don't know how many people are listening tonight, but I believe we need to spread the word that we have got to get behind and on top of our legislators.
that's right.
We've got to get involved in community activism, making sure our elected officials, that we're right there behind them, pushing them. We need to be talking to them, emailing them, any way we can. We can make coalitions between ourselves. We can join coalitions that are already in place on certain bills, certain initiatives, and we need to make our voices heard now more than ever in our lives. We cannot sit back on the laurels of electing President Trump and think everything's going to happen by itself, because we know from history that many people tend to lay back and see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't need to do that. We need to be the movers and shakers to make sure things happen.
That's right. It's 100%.
And whether it be Colton Moore or Marjorie Taylor Greene, we need to be at their events, talking to them, emailing them, writing letters, talking to their staff, to making phone calls to their staff, and we need to be active in that way. So I'm just saying that the worst thing that can happen is we go back to the way it was. Number
right.
one. Number two, the worst thing that can happen is that we don't let them know that we're behind them and that we don't want them to lay down on like they have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Republican houses, Senate majorities in the past, and nothing happened.
That's right.
And that's what we cannot let happen this time. And that's why I called in to say that to whomever's listening. And we've got to spread that message.
That's true. You're 100% right. That's going to be a big focal point in my activism next year, is really, really engaging with the legislator in our state and upwards, and start making conversations, contact with these people, letting them know exactly what we want, what we're trying to fix, and that's where we need to go. That's the game plan this next year. You're 100% right.
We'll let some other callers come in and see where it goes from there. But I appreciate your call in tonight. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Andy. It's good to hear from you. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Awesome. Love Andy. Andy's a great, great fighter. He's doing a lot of wonderful, wonderful things down there. So, hey, it's just that easy. If you want to get in on the show this evening, just call the number. I got this cool little number now that we can do that with. And let's see if anybody else wants to call in here in a minute. I'm going to continue on with my notes. But no, he's absolutely right, folks. I mean, that he just kind of, maybe he was reading my notes, because that's where I was heading with this. So, again, say grateful for how we coordinated, how we share information, the groups that have surfaced from all of this. I mean, there's so much work to be done in so many different ways. And we have the best time in history to make a difference, a real difference in our lives. I mean, it's crazy how the paths that are lay before us, right? What we can do, what we can take away, how we can change things for the better. I mean, like I said, I've said this 100 times, but the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. came out and said they were going to ban fluoride in water, which the flip side to that is that you literally have some of these deranged lunatics that are talking about they need to stockpile fluoride, okay? I learned in school in chemistry class that fluorine was one of the deadliest elements out there, okay? We all understand that fluoride has certain properties for teeth, or whatever you want to call it. There's a flip side to every argument, but this is not good for us, all right? We're supposed to be progressing beyond this kind of crap, and it is in our water supply. It's in a lot of things. But just on that strength alone, not only vindicates so much of what we fought over the years and so much of how crazy we all were, the fact that could even be done, that could even be talked about on a governmental level is phenomenal. So looking really forward to that. I also think that we have to hold Trump's feet to the fire, right? And I'm going to circle back to that in a minute. But we have to make sure that we are participating. We're not sitting out. We're not just watching and reacting, but we are making our voices loud and clear about what we want, what we don't want, right? I'm going to get to his administration here in just a minute, but we cannot ever sit idly by again and let business as usual be that. We are changing things for the better. And our representatives are either going to get on board, and this is not some sort of a situation where I'm banging my fist on the table and saying, you got to do what I want. No. It's nothing like that. Now, they can make it out to be like that. What we want is we want to take all the crap out of everything that we do. We want to simplify. We want to make things so truthful and transparent that they have to be followed, okay? It's just something as simple as Mark Swanson posted earlier today. I posted it on my timeline about how their election supervisor, they literally signed some tabulator tapes with the wrong dates on them. The dates that hadn't even happened yet, like dates in December, and I'll pull them up here. But it's simple things like that. They're that careless with tabulator tapes, we've got to stop this crap. We don't need all this red tape, this bureaucracy, this complexity, right? I even saw where Marjorie Green today posted on Twitter, if you would like to see retired citizens pay no taxes. I'm like, yes, this is the conversations that we need to be having. No, these people should not be paying taxes. Lots of things that we need to fix in this system. So we've got to hold his feet to the fire. We've got to be vocal. Make sure that he knows, that his administration knows what we want. Our legislators need to know what they want. No more can they sit there and go, well, nobody's ever told me that. No, we're going to stop this. We've got to have more. And we're going, as we become more active together, we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. A lot more coordination, a lot more reaching out to our legislators, a lot more talking. These people cannot just be turtles in the shell. Okay? These, hey, I got another call coming in. Perfect timing. So here we go. Hello, Richard Schroeder.
Roy, it's so good to hear you tonight.
How are you, sir? Good to hear from you.
I'm jubilant. I'm just, it's so good to refresh my memory from our big win Tuesday.
Yes. It was a huge win, wasn't it?
What a journey. You know, you and I were together January 8th.
That's right.
Welcoming our legislators back.
That's
right. Who took the day off. What a bunch of creeps.
Uh-huh.
And when you say we got to connect with our legislators, you know, I can connect with, Colton Moore, Charlize Bird, you know, but look, I just had to vote in Derek McCollum. He's got a D- rating. He votes worse than most Democrats. And I'll tell you where I'm going, Roy. I won't take much time, but our elections are so rigged, so bad. And we're not, like Mike Swanson says, they're going off these tapes. The tapes don't mean nothing. We got 437 that says we're supposed to count in the precinct. We count in this precinct our whole lives. And then the DRE system took the paper ballots out for a while. And in 2019, they brought in these paper ballots that are printed off a printer, off a ballot marking device. And Haldeman says you could cheat there. You can cheat off the printer. You can cheat off the scanner. It's off. And so we got to go to paper ballots, to paper rolls, and get these people like our Hall County. Oh my God, Roy, I got so much to say and I can't say it. I'm a late tabulator. I take the paper out of the machine. And they would not let me count it as in, and Janice, Dr. Jan Johnson on the state election board, she says, you count. She said, count. And oh, God bless her heart. But our supervisor in the county ordered us not to count in the precinct. I didn't count.
And that was this year.
Just now, Tuesday.
Yeah. Wow.
Worked 15 hours. And Roy, this is beautiful. I'll share it with you. I don't want anybody to know, though. Don't let nobody know. I had a discussion with my manager prior to me hoping that I could count the ballots.
Richard, you know you're on air, right?
I know. I'm doing it on purpose.
Okay, gotcha. Make sure.
I want everybody to know.
Yes,
I discussed it with him, and I says, I says, I plan on counting the ballots. He said, no, you can't. I says, by whose order? And he says, our election supervisor. I said, what gives her the authority to negate our laws? He says, well, it's a court thing going on right now with the rules. I said, the laws supersede the rules.
That's right.
Because I've been down there. I know every little bit of action. And he didn't have a leg to stand on. He said, well, I don't know right now. I'll get back with you. And we were going to go back and forth. There ain't no getting wrong.
You had to argue with him about the law.
Yeah, because he was ordered by Page not to count in the precinct. Our whole county, our whole state, mostly. A few counties have counted, and I saw it on Signal. But this is so crooked, and we got to take it back. Kerry Lake doesn't lose elections. Come on.
Oh, I know.
No
Arizona.
way.
God, Arizona is such a it's such a clown show what's going on in Arizona right now. It's ridiculous.
And don't get off Georgia.
Oh, I know.
Our favorite bulldog didn't lose either.
I know.
And
Well,
and you know, in the last state election board meeting, Meg Mercel from Perry, Georgia, she got up and she says, you know, you're spending all this time on these individual challenges. What about? And she had paperwork and trends and graphs and data from Georgia voter GA, and she says, what about Herschel Walker when he lost 20,000 votes in 3 minutes?
Yep.
Silence. And,
Oh,
and,
Lord.
and oh, Roy, I'm sorry, I shouldn't go on like this, but we were standing outside. Everybody was gone. We were talking to Garland, Favorito, and Tammy, and these two people come up and they're talking, and Meg told them about Herschel Walker's 20,000 split votes, and he says, by the way, what's up with your shirts? You know, we had the "If You Know, You Know" shirts. You know, Lisa Adams
Yes,
and her
the DVS
beautiful
court.
black shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, we had rows of them, Roy, rows of them. And so these two reporters from Georgia Public Broadcasting came up, and after the discussion said, "By the way, what's your shirts?" We said, "Well, it says if you know, you know." And then we told them it's the Dominion password that since 2008. You know, any
Yeah.
decent governor would kick the machines out in a heartbeat. And you know, there's two girls, Amanda Prettyman and
That's right.
Lisa Nessler, and they got a
They
picture
got the
with the
picture
governor.
with the governor.
And after the picture, the governor says, "So what's up with these shirts you got on?" And they say, "Well, that's the Dominion password." Now, where in the heck is our sanity?
Oh, hey, look, I tell you, I've seen a lot of posts the last couple of days about, see, I told you Georgia's not a swing state. I'm going to tell you right now, I highly disagree with that. We've got this state is so bruised, and we have a absolute corrupt establishment, political system under the Gold Dome that you know is not dealing with any of this, Richard. They're not. They're trying to placate. They'll run from you in the hallways. You said it when you said it on the call. There's very few people that you can even get a hold of anymore that will listen to you or even accept your phone call. It's insanity, and we have got to stay on top of it.
I appreciate you, Roy. You know you're a voice, and you're getting out. And I hope you're going to be there this January. Sam's planning.
You know, I
big
was about to tell you,
event.
I'm going to be there. Yes, sir. I will not miss it for the world. I will be there.
I'll bring my bullhorn.
That sounds great, Richard. Hey, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing. You're one of the ones that have tirelessly fought against all odds for all the state of Georgia. We commend you, man. You did a great job.
We're in the middle of it. We got to come to an end.
That's right, my brother.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, that's Richard Schroeder. That's one of the ones that I'm bringing up here. One of the people that I have met on this journey that not only just accepted me in, we've done a few things together. He was on the show last year in a call-in before I ever knew him, tirelessly showing up, him and his wonderful wife, and they come out and they go down to these election board meetings, which last hours, if not days, constantly fighting, asking the tough questions, the questions they don't want you to ask. And that's what it takes, folks. That's what it takes, is getting involved. It's not always pretty, and you don't want to do it. I'm telling you, I talked myself out of doing a show tonight 20 times before I got here, and I've already had 2 great calls. So continue. Call me. Let's get you on the show. I want to hear from you. But man, that's what we need. And Richard needs help, and I need help, and we all need to help and support each other and continue on, because there's so many good people fighting the fight right now. And make no mistake, I disagree. Georgia is definitely a swing state. We're always on the verge of being taken over, and a lot of times we are fighting ourselves. We are not fighting the Democrats in this state. We are fighting ourselves, our own Republicans who have been bought and paid for, okay? It is the truth. Whether you like it or not, what kind of deals you make or not, it's the absolute truth that Georgia is a cesspool. And I will say, other than Arizona, which is total clown world, we can all see it. If the crap that's going on, Georgia very much would have been that way, if not worse, if it hadn't have been for people like Richard Schroeder out there fighting tooth and nail with everybody else. So that's what it takes, folks. But I wanted to bring this up real quick while I had a chance. So what we were talking about earlier, this is the kind of complacency issues that we were talking about. I'm bringing this up here, but this was from Mark Swanson that had posted this earlier. So you have to kind of take a look at it. But if you're not following Mark Swanson, of course you should be following him. He's got great insight to especially Floyd County, the Georgia elections. Very smart individual. Was working with the late Paul Nally on a lot of things, but you have to, let's see if I can get it up here just a little bit bigger so we can see this. But so if you look at this tabulator tape here, and this was signed last week on November 5th. You see Tuesday, November 5th, tabulator 1 ICP 1, tabulator 2, 210, voting location. It says poll open November 15, 2024. Poll closed December the 8th, 2024. Report printed December the 8th, 2024. That's pretty wild. Can everybody see that? Like, what does that even mean here? Right here. And they just signed it. You know, nobody fact checked this. Nobody went back and said, hey, this date's not right on here. This is the kind of stuff that we deal with. Now, you might call, it's just a formality, right? And I think in Mark's page here, and let me pull that up just a little bit. What does it say? Because Mark had said something about this. Let's see. But don't worry, they said. They reported it, and everything is just fine. Apparently, the Secretary of State is just fine with this as well. Happens all the time. So, you know, you just heard from Richard. You're seeing this, what I'm posting here from Mark. These people are just looking over this like it's no big deal. And it is a big deal. We're not following the election law. We're not following election code. Everybody saw the email that came out of Fulton County about how they were going to try to count absentee ballots early and leave poll centers open in certain locations with no observation, which was hundreds of people in the state got involved and run it up the food chain. Hundreds of people got involved. And I firmly believe that if we had not gotten involved, if people had not started making phone calls and started taking it up the chain, that they could have very well have counted God knows what. And even a judge sided with this asinine election boards in these counties. It's ridiculous. We have a broken judicial system on top of that. We know that we do. But deep state neocons, rhinos, Democrats, all plotting tirelessly to subvert not only this win, but the freak out is real. They are coming in droves, and God only knows what they're going to try to do. Obviously, we'll have some sort of false flag issues. They're going to try to escalate things. They're going to dealing with Second Amendment, you name it. You're already hearing and seeing calls for violence. We still have a president elect to protect, because God knows what will happen between now and January 20th. So we must be vigilant, right? I'm torn. I go back to this on the, because I some people I respect greatly in media says that we're fools if we're making fun of these people that have this derangement syndrome, and I kind of halfway agree with that sentiment, right? Because I don't ever like to make fun of people in the first place, but I have to admit, I get a laugh watching some of this because it's just so over the top. And you have to put into context that these people are mad because the person they were going to elect for president not only couldn't even get past word salad, all right? Obviously, she was not elected by anybody. She was chosen by the DNC, but their only talking point is about abortion, for God's sakes. And that's people that are subverted in this psychological warfare, that brainwashed. It's hard for people like me to feel sorry for them when that's literally the only talking points they have. You've seen the videos, tireless videos of people going around, who are you voting for? Kamala, Trump, blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you don't like about Trump? They don't have any basis to stand on. These people are ignorant. they don't have anything to back up their claims. They just orange man bad, orange man racist over and over and over again. But the one thing that their hill they were going to die on was abortion. That's insane to me. It's absolutely insane. And this whole abstinence from sex, this Korean 4B that they're doing, well, you're actually, that's good. That's kind of what we want. That's the number. You don't need abortions when there's abstinence. You don't need abortions when you're perfectly capable of keeping yourself from getting pregnant and things like that. I mean, it's almost too much to understand, right? So it's a little hard for me sometimes to have sympathy, especially on what all we have been through the last few years, having to put up with a demented president that was never there. I mean, from the beginning. And that his replacement was literally Kamala Harris. Like how could anybody look at that and think, my God, this is the way forward, you know? So, you know, I get it, but there's also a theory talking about how liberals are too quiet now. Things are too quiet. What are they planning? Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'm learning a lot. I'm not going to put too much stock in the doom and the gloom and the gaslighting, because I'm hopeful. I continue on prayer that we are going to see this thing through at least to January 20th and on. And I'm not going to give these deep state, these neocons, these rhinos, the Democrats, they have no power over us. The people have clearly spoken. And what it does is it energizes me to know that we have this power and that we need to use it. We need to use it wisely, right? We need to get active and involved and continue forward. So they're going to be crazy. They want to shave their heads and wear blue bracelets and get tattoos and whatnot. Do it, by all means. Whatever makes you feel better. Go to your therapy. Continue on your SSRIs while you have them, because it's not going to get any easier with that kind of mindset, you know. And I'm a firm believer that you can lead horses to water, but you cannot make them drink. So maybe, just maybe, we can continue this in a way that sheds more light and makes more of a difference in these people's lives. Maybe they'll snap out of it, you know. I've been a freak my whole life, man. I've been involved in all kinds of stuff like that. And so I empathize with these people, but the brainwash is real, and it's got a stranglehold on this nation. So, well, we also must prepare for a rocky path forward, no doubt. No doubt. Things are not just going to be hunky-dory, and you can't be, I'm MAGA and we did it and we're good to go. You've got to stay on situation awareness, the beat, because things will get rocky. They'll continue to get rocky, especially the more that we do. And what evidence do I have? Well, I have 2016 through 2020. A big, fat pile of stinky Russia collusion and a worldwide pandemic that shut things down. So don't think that they don't have things up their sleeve, but don't worry about it. We just get up and get active and we keep the power. But prepare. Rocky times are coming forward. Cornered rats, what do? They fight back, right? We have a lot of good in this world, but we must understand the psyops are real. The gaslighting is real. They're going to try to continue to fearmonger you at every step of the way. You can't get caught up in all of it. Just focusing on the truth, focusing on transparency and accountability at all cost. Because that's where if you're, I don't have to worry too much about doing a show or something like that, because at the end of the day, when I turn it off, I feel like I've done the best I can to provide truth and logic and reason. And that's what we strive for here at Small Town Underground. Above all, I don't do the gotchas, and I'm not interested in the big drama. And believe me, we've got some stories that we're going to be dropping in the next little while, and some unbelievable guests coming soon as we continue. But the thing about it is, man, is we're not pounding our hands on the table, demanding they do what we want them to do. All we want is what is right and just. We want the law and order to be followed. We want secure borders. We want our culture to be American. We strive for an American economy. Okay, it has nothing to do with immigrants. It has nothing to do with it has everything to do with assimilation. But we want security. We want world peace. We are now the party of no war. I'm addicted to war. I grew up my whole life. I have every war movie and every war book you could think of. But guess what? I don't want war. War is not the answer. George Bush proved that war was not the answer. A 20-year war in Afghanistan proved it. We have the color revolution to go back and realize that all war is a way to prop up military-industrial complex neocons. That's it. And every single war, well, I say every single, not every single war, but a lot of the wars fought have all been manipulated in one form or another. We can do without war. What I want to see is to make America healthy again. I'm very, very proud that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. came across that line and said, this is what I want to focus on. That's very important because we are poisoning ourselves. Our culture is poisoned by food. There's even talks of Bill Gates. Bill Gates, for God's sakes, wanting to come over and work with Trump. I think he should be in prison. I think Bill Gates should be in jail, as with Anthony Fauci and everybody else. But all we want is lives, family, freedom, liberty, justice. And it's very simple. And none of that involves the color of your skin. And none of that involves the sexual orientation. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous stuff that we're fighting against. So I can walk away from this fairly confident that we're continuing to strive for that. And maybe, just maybe, we can bring more people into the fold. And maybe somebody like you that might not be involved will want to get up and get involved. So before I take comments, I wanted to show you one more thing because this is what I'm likening to making a difference. Let's go back up here. I posted this earlier today. And this is from Tucker Carlson, and it had been posted an hour. Just only an hour when I posted it, but I'm going to read this in full. It says, what the hell is going on in the U.S. Senate? Hours after Donald Trump wins the most conclusive mandate in 40 years, Mitch McConnell engineers a coup against his agenda by calling early leadership elections in the Senate. 2 of the 3 candidates hate Trump and what he ran on. One of them, John Cornyn, is an angry liberal whose politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. The election is Wednesday, and it's by secret ballot, and it will determine whether or not the new administration succeeds. Rick Scott of Florida is the only candidate who agrees with Donald Trump. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Don't let McConnell get away with it again. Now, this is a stark reminder that I felt everyone needs to understand because the deep state is heavily vested in our government. And here you have Mitch McConnell, part of the Rhino neocon clan who hates Trump and was the same in 2016, who probably his staff are the ones that are administering these secret ballots because he is probably in some sort of la-la land. But I want you to know that when I say rocky, you have to understand that there's still plenty of forces. I've said it 100 times. Do you think these people are in waiting for somebody like Musk to come in or any of these people to come in, Robert Kennedy Jr., and shut down their operations and shut down their money laundering schemes and shut down their institutions? They're not sitting there with cardboard boxes ready to go. They are ready to fight tooth and nail. And like Chuck Schumer said, there's 6 ways from Sunday to getting back at you, and they will try this again. And they're going to do it on levels that we've not probably seen. So you must understand, we've got to watch things like this. And again, with that in mind, there's been a huge push in social media to highlight Mike Pompeo is the bad guy, okay? If you've seen the video that I've posted, if you've seen the video, so many people, it became trending on X. Thank God that we have a place that news aggregates, everything can get out in the open, because just 3 hours ago, I'm showing you this from Tara Bull, who I follow on X, and the news broke because everybody's been concerned about Mike Pompeo and some of the horrible, horrible videos you've seen. He's a total swamp creature. And she put, Trump has announced Mike Pompeo and Nikki Haley are not included in his new administration. What happened? And I say this. I'll tell you what happened. I said, the people have spoken, okay? The amount of rattling that everybody has done, I can only imagine that if that rattling had not been there and been so just loud, that Mike Pompeo might be in his administration. We all know he's a swamp rat. Now, Donald Trump is not a messiah, guys. We know this. Donald Trump is a regular human being and make mistakes, and we know he's got this ego, and all you got to do is butter the bread, and Donald Trump loves you. But both of these people, Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo, should not be anywhere near a Trump administration. So this is the kind of stuff that we got to continue to watch. We have to continue to be loud and let our people know that under no circumstances are we going to allow these people in an administration and up into the dream team, right? This cannot happen. So I'm super, super proud that over the last 24 hours that this is a thing that I've been keeping up with quite a bit, and that it's been said now that they will not be in his administration. So, again, power to the people. Your voice counts. Your vote matters. Your voice counts. Don't be afraid to use them, because I'm telling you right now, this is shaping up great. So now we've gotten Mike Pompeo out of the way. What's her name? The other one I just mentioned. Nikki Haley. God, Nikki Neocon Haley out of the way. Guess what? Mitch McConnell's planning on doing a secret vote next week in the Senate to try to subvert the plans for the administration. Okay? So you need to be aware. All right, so I want to go to comments. Then we're going to get off of here. Let's see. Let me go back up. Wow, got a bunch of them tonight. Sharon Holland, thank you, Sharon. Always good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here on a Saturday night. David Naha, what a great time indeed. And just a special shout out to David Naha, who is one of those patriots who answered a call and drove down to Cobb County and spent all day down there in Cobb County watching these satellite locations that were taking absentee ballots, along with other people that were there. But he took it upon himself to do it, and that's what it takes, folks. People like David just getting up and doing it. So a special shout out to all the people that helped with the affidavits. I think it's Project 437. We're going to be collecting some of those and getting them down to where they need to go. So we've had some real patriots on the ground. Jennifer Tudor, wonderful to have you on the show tonight with us. You should have called in, girl. She says it was a great event. Good to see everyone. It's always good to see you. We're so glad that you spent the evening with us. It was a lot of fun. Jennifer said the rumor is she was too drunk to speak to her voters. Yeah, that was. And, that's a pitiful excuse, too. I mean, pitiful. The woman couldn't even come out and talk to her people, for God's sake. That's just pitiful. That just shows you what you're dealing with. But these deranged lunatics, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. Let's see. And David says, wouldn't doubt that. I heard that as well. Jennifer says they're definitely going to try to prevent the inauguration. So I didn't touch on this tonight, but it's part of this this whole ideal of a rocky start, right? Because obviously we know that there's a lot of subversion going on. The Democrats think they can use Amendment 14 to block the inauguration. I choose to not give them even a moment's worry of power, because I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They're talking about Trump using the military, yet they're the ones that signed the DOD into, not effect, but into they rewrote the DOD initiative about using troops on American soil. I think that was probably a setup for Trump. So the more we know, the louder we can be, the less power that these idiots have. And that, What are they going to do? All they're really trying to do is gaslight the public into recreating another January 6th. And I think a lot of us are too smart for that now. But always be ready for it, because they will try everything. And if it's not bad enough, we're worried about Mitch McConnell doing some crazy crap, But yeah, they're definitely going to try something. So we need to be prepared. She says they have the ability to turn the news off and start looking around, just like the rest of us truth seekers have. I have no more pity. That's really where I'm at too. I can't understand how CNN is still in business. MSNBC, how these places are propped up. They're propped up a lot by government money. Okay, let's just put it to you. They're propped up by a lot of taxpayer money. The Twitter files prove this. There's no secret. And when this money stops flowing, you're going to see some of these news agencies go way downhill. They're already making cuts like you would not believe. But I can't even imagine the amount of lies and gaslighting that we've had to go through is insane. It's insane that this stuff is on TV and it's even allowed to be broadcast. I mean, most of these news agencies should be able to be sued out of oblivion for the crap and the lies that they spew. So it's absolutely ridiculous. Richard says, you're doing good reminding us of the great victory that night. We're still committed to winning this war. It's far from over. And Richard, you bring up a good point. We won a huge battle. A huge battle. Like bigger than I think any of us really anticipated, right? But the war still rages on, and we just need to be prepared. We have the upper hand. We have the power. We have ears, more and more ears on not on our side, but they're open to us. I think we've scared a lot of these people because they know that we mean business, see? They know that we're not going away. So they're either going to have to step it up and get involved and play right, or else we're going to expose them and we're going to remove them. Plain and simple. Richard says, I need this in light of the Bulldog loss today. Oh, I heard about that. I heard it was pretty painful. So I had to work, so I didn't watch any of the game. But Andy Soha says, yes, they will, Jennifer. They were enforced and organized at the first inaugural of Trump. I was there. We almost got into confrontation with him. Actually, we did in a way, but it could have been much worse. We didn't know then what we know now. The key words are they were organized. George Soros and Obama machine for sure. Well, plain, simple truth that Richard's there. It's always going to be an organized resistance, or what you want to call it, a resistance against people like us who are just showing up because we don't demand anything. We're not there trying to have entitlement or demand that people, or there for freedom. And freedom is always going to be attacked. And it will always be an organized attack. We've got to be smarter than those people. We cannot let them gaslight us. We cannot let them have the upper hand and get into our psyche. That's what the key is this time. If we learned anything from January 6th, that's that. So Jennifer Tudor said he's going to expose everything and they're scared. Jen, like I said, my fingers are crossed. Nothing more would please me than to see all of the Kennedy assassination, the Epstein list, 9/11. There's so many things that be declassified that I think would not only finish waking up people, but it would be such vindication for people who have went down these rabbit holes, explored these other narratives, that know there's enough evidence out there to know that things are not what they seem. But I'm hoping and praying that, and speaking of Mike Pompeo, he was the one supposedly that put a stop to releasing the JFK assassination. Well, I don't think they're going to have that kind of pushback with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So I'm looking forward to seeing all these corrupt individuals, these corrupt movie industry, these corrupt performers, whoever they are. If you've done bad things, if you've harmed children, you need to go down. You need to go to jail. You need to go to prison. You need to be removed from society. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You need to be brought down. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was on the podcast or on some video last week sitting next to John Podesta, which is Mr. Pizzagate himself, okay? Oh, don't get me started down that. I'll get kicked off of here. So, she says, so true, Andy. We've got to keep fighting. They won't ever stop trying to take over America. No, in fact, there's a article that was released a week ago I didn't have time to get to about our own Speaker of the House, John Burns, talking about how he's going to go after gun control this year, and not in a way that protects the Second Amendment. So we'll be highlighting that in the future. Michael Anthony, hey brother, hey Michael, Michael Anthony. If you guys aren't following him, 10 o'clock talks. He had a outstanding podcast going on this evening. As a matter of fact, that I'm going to start streaming myself as soon as I get off of here on my way home, honoring Art Bell this evening. So it's always good to have Michael. Michael's a great fighter up in Pennsylvania, and wow, I bet he had some stories to tell from up there too. I couldn't believe. I mean, I could believe it, but we got Pennsylvania. But it's always good to have you around, my friend, and we'll definitely be planning another show. But he's got great shows. I continue to go and support him. A huge show tonight, so can't wait to start listening to it. And Andy Soha says Roy needs a master email list to reach out to his listeners when he has shows. He should actually be able to get a larger county email list. Let's help Roy expand his influence, which will help us all in return. Well, I appreciate that. I am looking into more ways to expand, not for any other purpose and to reach more people. But, you know, I just want to be very clear. It's just super hard to work as much as I work and have a family. I have to really balance my time. And so I'm trying. We're going to try some new things next year, and obviously hooking up with other podcasters, other people in the communities, that we're all kind of piggybacking off of each other, helping each other expand and grow, because most of it, our hearts are in the truth and getting out the truth. So, you know, we're going to continue to get better. I'm going to look into ways to reach more people that way. But I want to say this. I know I'm going over an hour. I'm sorry, but I want to say how proud that I am that we've grown this thing organically. I haven't paid for likes, clicks. I haven't done any advertising that it wasn't free, and I'm not against that sort of thing. But everything we've done here has been organic. I would much rather grow slow and just be organic than to try to blast myself out there. I'm nothing anyway. I'm not a spokesperson. I'm not an influencer. And I'm definitely not good at this. But the fact that we're growing organically means we got people here that are genuine, that people here that support the grassroots, support us little people. And that to me is more rewarding. When I see Sharon Holland here every week, that to me is more rewarding, I think, than anything, than trying to have to buy, subs and all that stuff. That's not what this is about. And we're going to continue that on the same foundation, no matter where this thing goes. You have my promise on that. Let's see. Richard says, and divisions within our ranks, we definitely do. David says, that's why I took the day off, went to Cobb County. I planned on going Sunday, but didn't work out. Again, we appreciate you, man, that we need more like you. Richard says, don't forget to give our veterans a shout out for their sacrifices, some the ultimate. Absolutely. I forgot, I believe today is Veterans Day, correct? I'm pretty sure, but yes, you're absolutely right, Richard. Lord have mercy. What could I say about the people that have fought and died in wars for this country and throughout the history of humankind? The bravery that it takes to stand up outside of yourself for one's nation. And so we absolutely salute the veterans, alive, those that have passed. I have so many friends that are veterans. I'm not a veteran. I never went into the military. I always wanted to. It's a long story why that I didn't, but I have mad respect for all veterans out there. For my family, veterans, my father's a veteran. And I appreciate, Richard, you bringing that up, because it's true. We salute all veterans out there for everything, for the sacrifices for this nation. Yes, absolutely. Mike Pons, good to see you. He says, I'm watching the movie Gettysburg this evening. That's pretty awesome. I have not watched Gettysburg in a long time. So Louis D'Alessandro is my cousin in California. Represent. Says, my dad started watching this video tonight. Well, that's pretty cool. I hope he enjoyed it. So feels like a little bit of pressure on me. I got California family, good conservative California. In fact, Louis, I'm sure you guys have seen, Don, Louis, you guys have seen the map, how red California was this go around. It's amazing to see that. It's amazing to see these blue slithers getting smaller and smaller. And California, the people of California have been through so much, and they're continue to going through with Gavin Newsom and his insane plans. So don't think we all have, everybody thinks about California as just a throwaway place, but it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful state and beautiful people. And their culture has just been kind of taken over. All right. But don't think for a second, Georgia's the new Hollywood, and they're going to bring that crap here. They already are. So you have to be aware in this state just how kind of teetering on the edge we are. But wonderful people in California. And they really showed out for Trump this time, and it was amazing to see that. So much love to my family out in California. Miss you guys. Mike Pond says, Bill Hubris Gates. Yeah, boy, we got a lot. We'll see. We'll have a lot to cover on this. So that's God. Can you believe that Bill Gates wanting to work with Trump? And Louis says it's Mitch McConnell. It's McConnell versus McDonald Trump. That is. That's true. That's true. Like you got to be aware of this stuff. Next Wednesday, a secret ballot. I got a plan in place. We're going to try to get something out before then, but be aware that there is already sabotage in your own Republican ranks in the Senate going on now to subvert Donald Trump, just like last time. All right. Oh, Lisa. Oh, my sister in garbage, Lisa, says, thank you, brother, for sharing the truth. I appreciate you. Again, Lisa's one of those wonderful people who is all over the place. She is relentless on TikTok, and man, she, thank you. We had a great evening. It's been a great week. And who better to spend it with than people like Lisa Adams? I'm telling you. So, and she says everybody needs to be loud. Let me tell you, Lisa has ran Brad Raffensperger into elevators, y'all. Okay? You want a 101 course on how to get people's attention, you need to hang out with Lisa Adams, because guess what? We're going to be down in the Gold Dome in January. We're going to be asking questions, having a good time, and we're going to be breathing down these people's necks, and we're going to let them remind them that we are not going anywhere. So, and we blasted the watch party. Yes. And let's see. Jeff Conley, my brother, good talk. Roy Mitch must go. He absolutely must. And Lisa says, I'm planning to go up for the inauguration. That's awesome. I actually put in for tickets. Who knows? I doubt very seriously I'll get them, but we'll see. I mean, didn't hurt. Richard says, absentee ballots have a non-readable QR code also. They are numbered, and so they have your name and how you vote, which is against the law for total privacy and absolute secrecy. Yes, no matter what, we know that Dominion voting systems need to go. We know that paper ballots are the way. We know that there are other ways that we can secure our elections transparent. So this whole Dominion argument is not going away. We're going to continue to fight until we get rid of Dominion in the state of Georgia, okay? We don't want any electronic voting systems. What we want is free, fair, transparent elections, and the easiest and best way to do that with paper trails and everything else. That is how we do it. And guess what? We're not going to shut up. We're not going to go away. Ooh, Donald Trump became president. Guess what? We're going to get rid of Dominion voting systems. Do you understand that? That's what we're going to do. Is we're going to get rid of them. So best be prepared. David says, my pleasure to help any way I can. Absolutely. Mike Pons, wonderful to have Mike Pons with us this past week. Me and Mike got some special things planned coming up. Says, Elaine Chao is wife of Mitch McConnell. Her father owns a container ship company. Nothing to see here. Move along. Big money. Yes, you are 100% right. A lot of stuff came out about that. Wow. Yeah, that's a big truth bomb right there. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, start looking at Mitch McConnell, who he's married to, and what they own. You're absolutely correct. Lisa says, how about Whitfield County replacing a sheriff that's been in 32 years? Congratulations, Sheriff Derek Pierce. Yes, we do want to congratulate Darren Pierce. He was a great victory in Whitfield County. He did unseat like a 30-plus year Democrat sheriff, and who, from what I gather, was talking some foolish stuff there toward the end. But we were watching the race from Darren Pierce, and he actually won it. And wonderful. Kudos to Whitfield County. I can't wait to see what Darren brings to the table. Let's see. Jackie Harlan says, love our veterans. Yes, yes, us, US. Absolutely. And for my apologies for not making that first on the list, y'all, because like I said, it's just been a long day, and I didn't really plan this. But I felt like we needed to do it. But yes, we love our veterans. We support them 100%. So Richard Schroeder says 11-11. I think he might be talking about. Okay, 11-11 is going to be the veterans probably, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to double check that, but I hope it is, because that gives me enough time to do something. Jackie said the devil doesn't get tired, and neither can we. Our fight has just begun. 100%, Jackie. We've got a long road ahead, and we know this is a spiritual warfare. We know it. We know this. Above all, and that's why I say we trust God, and we continue to put our faith in God and trust that it's His plan, and we can't sit idly by. We have to fight. And Jackie's a good one. She's a fighter. She's done a lot of things good. Walker County has benefited. Our GOP has benefited. We've done so many good things. I got to meet Tucker Carlson because of Jackie. That was insane. But we appreciate you, Jackie. Sharon Hollins is replying to Lisa. Lisa, yes, Whitfield County is red, not blue. Amen to that. Amen, Sharon. And Jackie says, Lisa is always where she needs to be. You ain't kidding. And she says, cannot wait till January. I can't either. We're going to plan it. We're going to get more people down this year. We're going to get more people from everywhere to meet up in Atlanta. We're going to overrun that place. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Jennifer Tudor says, Election Day, not days, should be made a holiday. That's one thing we should advocate for. We should advocate for a national election holiday and get rid of all this crap, right? I don't want to go into the tangent, but part of this whole thing is that we keep moving the bar further and further out, right? If we were to make a national election day, like where everything shut down and the sole purpose was your civic duty to vote and everything was clockwork and everything happened together on one day, I think we would benefit so much more greatly. Right? Now, people are not going to agree with that. Why? But they don't want the election system fixed, right? They want it broken. They want it complex. They want to be able to control it. They want to have committees and subcommittees, and they want to get paid and do all that. We know that. We should be fighting for what's right, and that a national election day would solve a whole lot of problems. All right. And then Magfer63, good to have you with us this evening. I think you're the last comment. Says, thank you for a great show. Well, I appreciate that. I do. I can only hope that everybody is enjoying what we're doing here, because I do enjoy it and enjoy the guests. We got some killer guests coming up that I will be announcing soon, and more specialty interviews, more community interviews. We're going to be doing more on the ground interviews. I can't wait, especially till next year. And for now, let's celebrate our victory. Let's pray for this delusional culture that we have, that their eyes may be opened. Right? We don't want enemies. We don't want to be divided like this. We don't want a country that's this divided over such stupidity. Right? Let's pray that Donald Trump is safe and secure. Let's pray that he is wise, super wise in all the decisions that he makes going forward. Let's pray for these wars to stop. We want the wars to end. We want to bring our troops home. We want peace in the Middle East. We want no more color revolutions. We want countries to be countries. Let us pray for our inflation and our economy and our wallets. Let's pray for family. We pray for every single child and baby out there. We don't want abortions. We want families. We want people to live, laugh, love, be happy. We got a lot to pray for, and we got a lot of things to do. We got a lot of ways that we need to connect and get going. All right? That's what we have to do. So There's a couple more. Jennifer says, we the people are on our own subcommittee, and they need to answer to the people again. A freaking men. Absolutely. And Mag for 60 says, definitely don't need corruption either. We absolutely don't need corruption. We've got to get rid of the corruption. I look at this as a win that Mike Pompeo and Nikki Haley have been officially said no to the administration. I look very forward to working on all forms of social media and getting the word out that Mitch McConnell is planning a secret vote against for an anti-Trump person to subvert us. We don't need it. We're not going to accept it. This is the way. This is the golden opportunity to fix things for good. Okay. So I appreciate it. I've taken way too much of your time up this Saturday night. We'll be back Wednesday, and we will have, I think we're going to have a special guest coming on this next week. So I will announce that. As always, you can go to givesendgo.com/smalltownunderground. If you can make a monetary donation, it goes straight to the show, and any travel expenses, that kind of thing. So I greatly appreciate it. And just keep supporting me. You can share this with like-minded individuals, and we'll get this continue to get out. And I think Tuesday I'm going to be on for a little while with Antonio Jones, Gwinnett, War Room, Gwinnett County. So I'm looking forward to that, and much more in the future. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Stay safe out there. I'm praying for you. You pray for me. Good night.
Legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting greedy.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from the carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.